Well, now at 5, with less than a week before the deadline to sign or veto bills, Governor Brian Kemp is in a full-on sprint for back-to-back days of bill signings across the state.
Atlanta News First reporter Abby Casoris is live tonight at the Georgia Forestry Association of Forest Science. So, Abby, why the rush here?
Well, Blair, the clock is ticking. Governor Brian Kemp, he's been here before. He knows he has 3 options. He can either sign legislation, veto it, or leave it alone, and it will still become law. Today, there were 2 bill signings stacked right up against each other, all having to do with safety. Governor Brian Kemp started the day at a public safety signing, pushing Rio's law across the finish line. It creates a specialty license plate for Georgians with autism or developmental disabilities and requires autism-specific training for law enforcement.
That is how I'm making my home state a much safer place for people like me.
Supporters say it's about one moment that can go wrong fast. When stress is high, lights are flashing, and communication breaks down.
It's a huge win. It's a huge win for autism, and especially for moms like myself that we worry about our children.
Then Kemp came here to sign bills tied to Georgia's rural economy, agriculture, and forestry, while South Georgia is still picking up the pieces from wildfires and storm damage. One bill protects prescribed burning from extra local barriers. Land managers call it one of the best tools to prevent bigger fires, as the state just faced 2 massive wildfires last month.
110 homes lost is the final count.
Another bill provides state tax relief tied to certain federal assistance, meant to keep more money in farmers' pockets as costs climb and conditions stay dry.
We're always going to do everything in our power to support our Georgia farm families, our consumers, our forestry industries, and our ag industries in a time of need.
And just as quickly as he arrived, Kemp was out while other issues keep building outside these rooms. Renewed calls to extend gas tax relief and questions whether lawmakers could be pulled back for a special session to address a QR code deadline. And we'll be watching to see if the governor holds either public or private bill signings in the coming days. If he's going to veto any legislation, it would be likely on that last day on May 12th. Live in for Abby Casoris, Atlanta News First.